which is slightly larger than this circle, is equal to the area of a square that you could construct in the octagon.
Will be heard. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition will be heard. If necessary, the appellant or their representative will offer concluding summary or rebuttal remarks. Testimony from the floor shall be closed. The board will deliberate and render a decision. And because we have only one case, and that is a conditional use permit, the only thing else I can read in here would be the board has the power to hear requests for conditionally permitted uses. Any person, resident or officer, department, or appointed body of the city of Athens aggrieved by a decision of the board may petition the Athens County Court of Common Pleas concerning the illegality of the decision. Such petition must be filed within 30 days after the mailing of the decision of the board to the applicant. We only have one case on the agenda tonight, case number 14-15C. The property is at 469 Richland Avenue. The board is required to take testimony under oath. Would anyone wishing to speak concerning any item on the agenda please stand? Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you will present to the board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please be seated. Our case agenda number is 14-15C, and it's Zone B2, the property at 469 Richland Avenue. Mr. James and Catherine Fuller are the appellants. The appellant is requesting a conditional use permit under ACC 230405, referencing ACC 230403C2 to allow a bed and breakfast establishment on the property at 469 Richland Avenue. Mr. Paskey, any comments?
No, this is, like you said, 469 Richland Avenue. It used to be the United Appeal, right? United Appeal building. The Fullers live next door, and they purchased the property and are wishing to make it into a bed and breakfast. And I know this has been discussed with bed and breakfasts throughout the city many a times, and the code actually does allow for it. Very limited in few places within the city, and this is one of them that does allow with the conditional use. So I think it might be our first one in town.
Okay.
That being said, you know, the findings on the conditional use are just the three, so it's a much easier task here.
Okay. And I understand those are like 1, 2, 3, and then ABC. But do we also need to go to Zone B?
The way it starts out is in a B2, permitted accessory uses. It says accessory uses and structures as permitted and is regulated in the R3 zone.
Okay.
And then you go to the R3 zone, and sure enough, under conditionally permitted uses, C2, motels, hotels, and bed and breakfast establishments on premises only that front on a street officially designated as a state or federal highway, or on Richland Avenue, East State Street, West Union, or Columbus Road. So then you go through the findings, the three findings.
On 230702.
Correct.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Paskey? Okay, Mr. Fuller, you may approach the podium and
Thank you.
state your name and address for the record.
I'm Jim Fuller, 467 Richland Avenue. My wife and I moved back to Athens in 1984. We purchased the house at 467 in about 1986. It was an abandoned farmhouse at that time, and we've since have brought that up considerably. And when this property came up at the bottom of the hill, we went down more or less thinking, well, we should see, just how this is going to go. It was a no minimum bid. United Appeal's a great organization, and we got it at a fair price. And so then the question was what to do. And as we looked and investigated on what the possibilities were, this bed and breakfast made the most sense. I will tell you that Mr. Paskey's been very helpful as far as directing us as far as what to do. We did have the state fire marshal in to inspect the property. It is hardwired for both the smoke alarm and the CO2. We've used local labor. We've paid a fair wage. We've purchased all materials from the C&E hardware store across the street as much as possible. So we're looking forward to opening it up, and there is a need, and we live right there. There'll be no shenanigans, believe me. I won't put up with it. So that's the reason we're here.
I have only one question. How many parties or group will be there at any given time? Just
Well, there's
one?
only one major bedroom. As a matter of fact, the DBA is Sweet Mechanicsburg. Since that time, we've kind of backed off on that name. We'll probably be called Southside Cottage or something along those means. But there would be one main bedroom with a double bed. There will be a hide-a-bed in the living room, but really, we're not looking to fill it up. It's going to be for the traveler, the professor, the parent that's coming in town. We've talked to a lot of different people from the Voinovich Center to the various schools, the Tourism Bureau, even Art Ostrike at Jackie O's, who's been very successful in his business, already knows people that he would refer to us.
Okay.
So we think it's going to be a good venture.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
So
Hey,
just
thank you.
a quick question. So your property at 467 is
Behind.
abuts the rear of that property?
Right. It's
Okay.
between Richland Avenue and the highway.
So it goes, okay.
Yeah, but there is an acre and a half there. So we have plenty of property and
Well, I looked back there. They took me back there. I looked around.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing an excellent job. It's a beautiful little house.
yeah, it is beautiful. So I think it's the best use for it. I sat on this board years ago, and that's one of the questions: what's the best use for the property? And we were talking about, bakery maybe, but there's no parking there. And now there's a carport, there's a garage. So it's enough for that. Then it won't be crowded, and it won't be unsafe. So,
Any
anything
questions?
else?
Yes, what's the amount of the parking?
Pardon me?
How many parking spaces do you have?
Parking spaces?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a driveway with a carport, so if you stack them, 2 or 3, and there's a garage. So, but we don't expect more than 1 or 2 cars at most being there at any one time. And if that were a problem, our property's right behind there. We have an acre and a half down there too, so we can put some people back there if need be. But I really don't anticipate a barrage of cars.
So your intention is 1 or 2 people, a couple, or
Yeah, a couple or family.
or a single person,
Yeah.
Or a family?
Or a
maybe a
family?
family.
Yeah, parents come in for graduation or whatever, and they've got younger kids, that type of thing. But certainly not 4 or 5 college students coming back for Halloween.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who wishing to speak in favor of this request, or in general comment, or opposition? Mr. Paskey, I was looking for one living space or living quarter. There's only one space is required, right?
Within that unit?
Yeah.
You know what?
The table says
I don't
one
know
per-
what the parking requirements for a bed and breakfast are.
Well, table B,
Well, if you look in B,
Hotels and bed and breakfast, it's one for each living or sleeping space.
So there you
so if
go.
there's only one space, there's only one space is required. And because we are going to be discussing the ingress and egress later on, what is the situation on Richland Avenue for a car backing to the street? Because that's, I've heard in case.
Any of the yes, and you're right, because your place is one of them. With the proposed plan, the redoing of Richland Avenue, we are taking into consideration, or Andy Stone is, great consideration to try to eliminate the backing out onto Richland from the businesses that have, the perfect example is the old Fun and Sun location. I think you see how we did that now. They have a driveway they can pull in and park and so on and so forth. But the single-family homes that are down through there that are grandfathered, I don't foresee that as being an issue. We were concentrating primarily on the everyday in and out businesses of heavy traffic coming in and out, the McDonald's and such. We don't want, obviously, people backing out of there.
Right.
So I don't anticipate this type of use with 1 or 2 cars being an issue. No different than what it would be if it was a house, probably less than it currently was with United Appeal being in there.
Okay.
So.
Well, just my personal experience, I pulled in the driveway when I was there for a while, and then I actually backed out. And you had a very clear range where that sits, just as that curve goes around in both directions. So I waited for one car, and then there were no cars, and I just backed out into the street. So.
Back to the parking. Okay. It's supposed to be one per sleeping space.
Per sleeping quarters, I guess, yes.
Okay. If we also assume that the request is up to 4 occupants and that there is a pull-out sofa bed in the living room, why don't we say that there are 2 spaces and require 2 parkings because he has the space for 2 cars to park?
Well, my interpretation here is from the sleeping space or living space is a single family coming to this bed and breakfast, and they may be driving 5 people in 1 car or maybe 2 people in 2 cars. So I don't think we can specify.
But
more
aren't we
than one.
talking about sleeping areas, sleeping spaces?
That's what I'm getting at.
And the living room becomes a sleeping space?
Yeah, sleeping space or living or sleeping space, my interpretation was maybe just one party, one group.
I don't think you can determine whether it's one
That'll
party
be
or
up
not.
to me to determine, and it
Okay.
says motels, bed and breakfast, 1 for each living or sleeping space. It
Okay.
doesn't say 1 for each living and sleeping space. So if
Well,
there's
you've
only
got-
one
You
bedroom,
have one living and one sleeping.
no, it says 1 for each living or
Or.
sleeping, not and sleeping. So 1 space is always going to be required.
I'm not reading that as you are, but okay.
So, imagine if it was a hotel room that had a bedroom with a lot of hotels now have bedrooms with the little family suites.
Yeah.
They're not required to have parking spaces for that
okay.
living room suite, even though they may have a fold-out bed or whatever. So, in this instance, 1 would be the maximum amount based on what the code is written.
Okay.
I guess my only question about that, I think there's plenty of room for 2 parking places
Sure.
there.
Exactly.
That's not the issue, but if we're going to refer back to R3 in terms of the conditional use, do the parking requirements, for an R3, which would be a minimum of 2 per dwelling unit.
No, it specifically declared, in our parking section, it specifically says motels, bed and breakfast. So it's clarified in our parking regulations how many parking spaces are required for a bed and breakfast.
Okay, so we don't, I'm just looking through mine, and there are restaurants, nightclubs, or similar, oh, there, okay. Okay,
Okay, and I read living or parkings or sleeping space as 2 things. To me, it doesn't have to say living space and sleeping space.
Yeah, it does.
Either one. In combination, that's 2.
There's 1 for each, what did I say, living or sleeping.
So you have a living and you have a sleeping. So
We've got room for 2. Either way, that's
exactly,
the maximum.
That's my
So-
point. They have room for 2. Why don't we say it's 2 and that will be
Fine by me.
fine? Great. Okay, thank you. Because they have the space.
I read somewhere that we will determine the parking space if it's not in Table B, but this is in Table B. I think I should refer it to the code office.
And he's already deferred to
No, I
us.
wouldn't say that, but let's go on.
Okay, thank you.
Now, if we add any conditions, then there is another line in here that says, when the condition is made a part of the terms under which the conditional use is granted, shall be deemed a punishable violation of this title. So,
I don't think we're adding conditions.
okay.
We
Well,
just, that'll be part of the conditional thing that we offer,
Okay.
that there will be
if you're
two
adding,
parking
if you're
spaces.
adding for
It's not a
2,
condition.
okay,
He's agreed to read it as I read it.
okay. Well,
Okay.
We'll see how the
Okay. But if we
the
present, if we present
motion
it as this,
is formed.
well, then you either have to say no, because you don't think that they have 2 parking spaces, and then they won't get what they want.
Okay, would you like to maybe make a motion, and then we'll
Well, I
discuss
think
it
you need to
further?
go through each one of the 3 findings first.
Yes, we haven't been through the findings.
Okay. do the findings before the motion?
Yeah,
No, don't we do the motion first?
I don't remember.
How long have I been on this board?
Yeah, you did. That's right.
Okay, what did you say? What the motion?
I thought you were getting ready to vote. My sorry.
No, we're not, no.
Okay, so we're going to have the motion. Okay. I move that we grant a conditional use permit to the property at 469 Richland Avenue under section ACC 230405, referencing ACC 230403C2, to allow a bread and breakfast establishment on the property at 469 Richland Avenue, which will then also have 2 parking spaces.
I second.
Okay. Now let's go to section 230702 under the powers of the board, and then we move on to part E, and says conditionally permitted uses. The BCA may authorize the issuance of a conditional use permit in accordance with the following provisions. 1. Conditional uses for which a permit is issued are permitted in the zone.
Yes, it's
So
permitted.
this bed and breakfast is permitted in B2. I'm just going to take my time, so
Fine.
you all have the time to think about it.
Yes,
Okay.
we thought, yes.
2, each conditional use is considered as an individual case.
Yes.
And that's the case.
Yes.
Number 3, the BCA shall find that the case conforms to the specific requirements enumerated in each section, which goes back to the section B2, and also these standards. A, the conditional use complies with all applicable city regulations.
I think so.
That would be bulk controls and, yeah.
Okay, so you are satisfied that it is. B, the conditional use will be of such location, size, and character that it will generally be in harmony with the appropriate and orderly development of the zone. It will not be detrimental to the orderly development of the adjacent properties, nor inconsistent with the city comprehensive plan.
Correct.
Right, obviously, I mean, if you look at the way that house is being upgraded, and along that stretch across from C&E, it's all houses of similar size and stature. There's a couple of rental buildings, and it actually looks very nice. I hadn't been out there for a while. So yes, I think at least for orderly development of adjacent properties, I think it's very acceptable.
Okay, Betty? Alan, any more? Okay, the ingress and egress from the parking area is so designed as to cause minimum interference with traffic on abutting streets. And
I think the
we
word is
discussed that.
minimum
yeah,
because we're talking few vehicles as opposed to a large lot with 5 vehicles,
yeah.
probably 1 vehicle, so.
Right. Any further discussions before we vote? So, all in favor of this conditional use permit, please raise your hand. I guess there is no opposing then. So 5-0.
Who was the voting member? Did you raise your hand? Ed?
1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4. Who was it? Who was the voting member?
All 5 of us.
Yeah.
She-
Ellen? Okay.
Okay, we are done.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Where's next to you?
We'll get that filled out and get it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
We have a couple of items before we go. The meeting, deposition of minutes from October 14, 2014 meeting. Joan, you had some corrections that
Right,
you
and
had
I
sent it.
read them. Mr. Eschenbacher sent them out, and it was fine.
So we have
So I
motion
move
to.
that we approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your hands.
Aye.
Okay. And
Yes, a few months ago, or last month maybe, or 2 months ago, there was a case that came before you, and this is not a case this evening. I want to point that out. And I just basically asking for clarification. 30 Utah Place requested to have a wall put around their property, a masonry wall 8 foot tall. And the applicant has come in and made some revisions to this, and I can try to hold it up here and see if anyone can see, but if you remember, this is the shape of the lot all the way around. The driveway was over here. They are still leaving the wall stepping down on this side, and I believe, Joni, that was one of your concerns with the high wall coming up. So they are stepping it down towards the drive, and it is still a masonry wall 8 foot high. Throughout the majority, I'd say 2/3 of the back part of the property, so probably the area that's behind the house. This area from right here over and then down to Utah, along the house that was just built to the north of it, instead of doing the masonry wall, they're requesting to leave the current 2 foot or so masonry wall that's there, or stone wall, and then build a 6 foot tall wrought iron fence on top of that. So we're still 8 foot in height, but the way we proposed it before and the way it was written in the variance, it said wall. And this isn't a wall, this is a fence. So, you know, I remember some of the arguments before and some of the comments that were made, so I thought, I just don't know if, you know, if this is really the same thing from what was approved before. Might be simpler, it might be more difficult, it might be less obtrusive, if that was the word. But the bottom line is, my question is, do we feel that this is in character with what was approved before, and should I move forward with granting the permit on it, or should they come back for a reapplication claiming that this is enough of a change that it needs to be reheard?
Can you clarify me, that is behind the house?
This is behind, yes. Utah
Okay.
was down
Okay.
here.
All right.
This is the back part of the
Okay.
lot, and approximately from the south corner to the rear, on the long children's services would be behind it here, up to about here, if you can see the line.
So
So about
approximately-
2/3 of it would still be
Masonry.
the wall as originally proposed that the
Okay.
variance was granted for. It's the area from here down and out
What do you mean out?
towards the street.
So the
Remember they
north-
had that little,
Okay, so the north section.
the north line, where their new house was built just to the north of it.
Okay,
And then there's that little outhouse, or whatever you want to call it. What was gazebo house? I guess it's not an outbuilding. Outbuilding, that's a better word. Who knows what it used to be used for?
so you're saying that the wrought iron fence will also comprise the north section of?
It'll be the entire north section on
Okay.
top of the
So a
existing.
third on the back and all of the north?
That is correct.
And also on the south then, right?
The south is stopping at the driveway. The south will still be masonry, but he's got, it says 3 foot high, so it's, I know at one point you talked about the different in elevation, and it's
Right.
stepping down, coming down, or it's lower, coming around to the driveway.
So it won't be 8 feet. at the
I would
driveway.
like to hear what
So-
Mr. Wentworth has to show us. That would help me.
We'll pass these around. This, okay, well, this is the condition of this is kind of old news because
Okay, this is the new
variance has
house.
already been granted. Okay, so this is basically kind of an idea of what the fence would be like. This is to show that this is not, it may be a different design, but in spirit, there is metal associated with this house. That's
Okay.
brand new. This is
Possible
existing.
design. Okay, wait a minute.
And then basically,
What is this? Wait, oh,
Where is, this is existing
Yeah.
on the
oh, this is
side
right
of the
by right by
driveway?
the house.
okay, is this old fencing?
This is old, yeah. And then this is a redo of what was there. This is all brand new.
Okay,
And so your concern was the,
I'm trying to figure out what part of the house this is.
it's between, it's if you're facing the house,
Yes,
that's to the north.
okay.
This, your concern initially was the fact that on Jacobs, this is Jacobs and then goes into the parking lot for children's services here. What we've done, we were approved for an 8 foot high masonry wall that went around this edge. Here's the garage that goes in. Here's the driveway.
Totally confused now.
So,
Okay.
so that is now very much,
So is this the driveway? Is this where the driveway comes
oh,
in?
no, that's next to Saffron's house. That's opposite the driveway. That's the other side of the.
Right, but this is your driveway.
Okay,
No.
this is the new house.
That's the new house. No, the driveway's out here. This is just a pathway.
The driveway's way over here.
Oh, that's what I thought.
No, driveway's over here. So
So-
this is the back.
Here.
So that is,
This is
there's
really-
that fence there.
What?
This fence here is,
Okay, this is the
That-
north side then.
and the other house is right there.
And where is Utah? Around
Utah's here.
Okay, so it
And
seems
then-
backward, but
And
okay.
and then this is basically what's left of what was approved along the back. Here's the pool. This is a little portion of the house. This is this corner up here that I just showed you.
Confusing.
Well, a little bit, but so basically, the difference is
What's this? Is
that's the
that-
pool deck. That's where the pool is.
Okay,
So Saffron's is
this,
here.
this is the north.
Yeah.
Okay, and, okay, obviously this is
So-
south, and so the driveway is over here somewhere.
Yeah, right in
Okay.
there.
So this is masonry wall,
Yeah, this is a view
and then
from.
now you're proposing that this be
Yeah.
fence, fence, fence.
This is Jacob's here, coming into the parking lot, and this is Saffron's house is up there.
Okay,
There's this little house in the corner. So basically, what was approved, which incidentally is 8 feet from the inside, which because of the grade, it's considerably shorter than 8 feet, actually, just because the grade comes up. And then we make a step here because there's a set of stairs. And then we changed. Now, the reason behind this was a reaction from Jeff had a landscape architect come down and recommended that there was never any intention for, in 5 or 10 years, for this wall to even be visible. Jeff is going to do some extensive planting along that path that you saw, wherever that is. And basically, you're not even going to see the wall. So the guy came down from Columbus and said, well, why put in this impervious wall lacking ventilation, light, everything? He recommended that we just go with a much more in keeping, really, kind of a spruced up version of what was always there. And so his feeling was, let's do something, there's a pool there, so we need a fence. So the idea was to do a wrought iron fence around the back, and then right
okay,
behind
so
where
this
the...
way is fence.
Yeah.
And this way is fence.
Is fence, yeah.
And that joins on to whatever masonry was already out
Yeah,
there. in
back,
front.
back here, yeah. So you're coming back, and then along the property line for Children's Services, a portion of it will be,
Yes.
will be the
Right.
fence.
Okay.
Again, for ventilation, deer control, everything, and then because there's a pool. And then where basically, we're not really offending anyone, it's a parking lot. And as a matter of fact, it's a utility building back here. And so the reasoning behind keeping this is for privacy. If you've been down there lately, the fence is gone, and it is naked. I mean, it is right there. So the idea for this is for privacy and noise control for the house. And, reacting to a lot of, I've spoken to Saffron's, and they couldn't be more happy, as you can imagine. The difference between a wrought iron fence like this with ventilation and light versus an 8-foot-high masonry wall that was
It seems,
approved.
if I can make this comment, less intrusive.
Oh,
less-
Yeah,
Yeah, that's,
Less
Well,
intrusive.
except that the whole idea of the presentation was to have privacy, and now you're opening it up, so that kind of shoots the argument.
well, but aren't you suggesting that eventually it will look more like this?
a little more,
fence that's
a little
pretty
more
much
manicured.
grassy,
But,
yeah, right.
But that was the whole idea.
Right.
And basically, what started the whole idea for the wall was privacy from a big parking lot and some trucks, and then noise from the highway. And then it just sort of escalated around the property, and then we kind of backed off and realized that this was the important place for that kind of a wall
Okay, between him and,
and the
But
parking
most
lot.
people get a 6-foot wall.
that's true.
So the Saffrons are comfortable with this change?
Oh, they can't, I mean, yeah, I mean, understandably, it's,
You've talked to them?
oh, yeah, I've talked to Steve, and he's really excited about it because there isn't going to be an impervious hunk of stucco there with some brick columns.
Right.
He now can see through to Jeff's property until everything grows up, and what he'll be seeing is all the vegetation that's been planted in front of this fence. So that's
Is the
really,
fence going to be 8 feet or 6 feet?
it's it'll be 6 feet maximum. It might be less, but in any event, it will not exceed 8 feet. There's already a 2-foot wall that's there.
So it'll be 6 feet on top of the 2 feet that's already
It will
there.
not exceed the 8 feet.
So it'll be 8 feet.
Yeah, well, will not exceed what was, the variance was granted for.
So you're getting the wrought iron from Columbus?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to,
I appreciate Bruce being here. Explain it to you. We're not here to hear
Right.
a case on this.
Right.
We're here to decide if this is something that needs to come back, or if you're comfortable with them making this change based on the variance that was granted before.
Okay, we'll take a vote on that then, huh?
But I guess we'll have to do that.
Okay, great. I just wanted to mention in here that this was on August 12th, and it was approved by a vote of 4-1, and you might be seated,
Okay.
please. And the way we argued the hardship and difficulty was the fence is for privacy and noise protection. The board does not have to create hardship by denying the variance, so that was based on privacy and noise. And the exceptional circumstances was a 6-foot privacy fence is more than sufficient, but not always. The neighboring house is up on a higher rise, but that is not exceptional. So that didn't meet. And then the minimum variance was argued that 8 feet in height is not minimal. 6 feet is minimal, is reasonable use. And so I just wanted to let you guys know in case you don't have the
Yeah,
copies
thank
of-
you, John. Yeah, I didn't, David.
Yeah. So
So all those in favor of the change,
I
raise
will
your
say
hand.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just trying to say how to
Okay,
do it.
first of all, let's formulate some kind of what we are voting on. Joan, you want to do that?
No?
Okay, anybody else?
I'd say it'd be before it said 8-foot wall. Now I think you make it an 8-foot wall fence combination.
Okay.
Right, so not a non-privacy fence, which I think is important to include. This is now a non-privacy fence.
Okay.
How about yes, you think he should come back, and no? you-
Yeah, I think that's sufficient. I don't think we need an official vote on this because
Right.
it's not an official case, so we
Correct.
really can't. You're just asking for us to give you an opinion.
Whether it should come back or not, or
Yeah.
Well, I think he refutes his argument and the findings that we looked at, and I know it's a beautiful place. I walked through the house before it was sold, so I saw it, and I walked through the grounds before the case, but I don't think that just because of its elegance and decadence that I think 6 foot would be
I don't know
sufficient.
if I agree with decadence is, I don't think
That's
an
a little
appropriate.
loaded.
In a positive way, I mean, that you, okay, I'm not saying that in a negative way. No, I don't mean it that way at all. I mean, look at it, and look at the rest of the neighborhood. It is very decadent, but I also said that it was very lovely, so it was not meant to be negative at all.
He needs a wall, he has a pool.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Paskey, if you say, let's vote to see if we could simply substitute the wall with the wall combination with the fence, if that's okay with the board, then we all say yes. Raise your hands.
Okay, so now we're not deciding whether or not he'll come back.
No, we're just saying, make it simple, if we can substitute that in here, so he can issue the permit, we say yes, otherwise, if he wants to come back, we say no.
So yes, you're okay with the changes. Yes, you do not think he has to come back.
Yes.
You vote no, you think the changes are sufficient enough that he does need to come back.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Perfect. So with that, let's vote. I vote yes.
I'm gonna let,
Oh, she's,
Did you vote?
I'm gonna let Ed vote on this one.
Okay.
Okay,
we're sharing.
okay,
Yeah, we alternate.
okay.
So we have three, that you don't need to come back then.
I'd love to, but thank
You
you.
want to come back?
No, I don't. Thank you all. Jeff will be very happy. And I maybe appreciate my frustration. I was excited when this thing became so much less obtrusive, and then John brought up some good points, and we've gone through the proper channels, so I appreciate your consideration.
And again, according to the zoning, we have 5 days to change our mind. I just want to make sure, Mr. Paskey, this is something that within our
I'll hold on
rights,
till
and
Tuesday.
is it okay? We don't want to be hearing later on that we did something wrong.
Well, I won't say.
I was indifferent. I'm okay with whatever you guys decide.
Okay,
Thank you all.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
all right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, I do sort of worry that
We-
an 8-foot fence in this instance,
It's a 6 foot now.
well,
No, they're
not to
not. They're
exceed
8 feet.
8.
It's
not to
8.
exceed-
It's 8.
Although, I
It's
think you
8.
could argue that a fence of any sort creates some kind of privacy because it keeps people from coming on your property, but it does no longer conform so much to the noise
Right.
deal,
This is less
except in the back is where that was the problem. So, okay,
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
yes.
Okay.
Second.
No.
We're out of here. So where's Lisa?
Are you adjourned?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So